Hi again, everyone. So for the elderly Vodcast, starting off with ageism. I think ageism is pretty prevalent in general in our society. Um, I feel like in general it's so common that we don't really realize that it's happening or that it has a negative impact on our elders. I think a couple examples that I've seen ageism. Definitely in the hospital setting. There was one time I remember during clinical, during report, one of the night nurses was kind of talking about a woman in her 80s who she cared for overnight, and she kind of just brushed her off and kind of referred her as a crabby old lady, um, and kind of had that bias going into meeting her as a patient. And she actually ended up she was very pleasant, very kind, and fun to joke with, sarcastic. I didn't really see her as a crabby old lady at all, but I think it was just the fact that she was maybe a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit elderly, maybe got brushed off a little bit. Also, I've seen ageism kind of in the general healthcare system. Um, I think with technology taking over a lot of communication forms, like in terms of using my chart and relying on email and text message and um, that kind of messaging, technology messaging for updates on your appointment time has changed, or the provider is not in, so we need to reschedule. I think that can affect the elderly population a lot of times, especially for those who don't have like a smartphone or choose not to get one. um, that can negatively impact their care, especially because a lot of times elderly people are the people who generally are receiving healthcare services. And then I think just overall, like in society and in the media, especially I think in America, there's a high emphasis on beauty, and especially nowadays, like I know there's like a lot of people getting Botox and just kind of anything that um, emphasizes not aging or anti-aging. And then like the flip side of that, we kind of see ageism, and trying to do everything we can to prevent aging is something that is seen as valuable versus just letting the natural aging process happen. And then my own experiences with elders. Thankfully, I do have three grandparents still alive, so I've gotten to be with them and hang out with them, and especially as I'm in nursing school and getting older. Just really trying to cherish the relationships I have with them, and learn about their pasts and kind of help my grandma learn how to use her iPad and how to iMessage. So that's kind of fun, just kind of realizing that they aren't actually old people. They're actually normal people who've had fun, full lives that they have lived. And then in terms of May's virtues, kind of reading through all of May's virtues, I really just thought about my grandpa. Um, so, courage is one of the virtues, and my grandpa, he has had so many heart attacks and cardiac events. And a couple summers ago, he was in the hospital again for something cardiac related, and he just would not stop fighting, and he wants to live. So I just think that him knowing his body and being able to speak for himself and know when he's needing help, that shows a lot of courage for him. And then also like humility. My grandpa is as wise as he is. He is a very humble person. He, for the longest time, did not think that he needed hearing aids and refused to get them. But ultimately, he did acknowledge that he may have trouble hearing and that he probably could benefit from some hearing aids. And he's been wearing them and loves them, and just thankful that he had the humility to get that figured out. And then simplicity. My grandpa, he did really well in his life, and was very fortunate, but right now he doesn't have very many worldly possessions. He's been giving things away to Goodwill. He wears the same 5 shirts every week. And I think what he cares most about right now at this point is just kind of playing cards every Tuesday with his friends and going to the rosary every afternoon and seeing his family. So just kind of the simple things in life. And then detachment and nonchalance. Again, kind of goes with this simplicity, but my grandpa, he's 91 years old now, and my sister got married last year, and he was very satisfied with his life, but he was like, I really want to get to Sarah's wedding. And so just kind of that acknowledgement of, making it to that milestone and taking that as a gift. And then hilarity. My grandpa, he actually cracks me up. He definitely has a good sense of humor. He doesn't take himself seriously at all, and that kind of goes with the humility too. I mean, he knows when to ask for help, but he also kind of acknowledges some like goofy mistakes that he'll make every now and then. And then I think as nurses, we can cultivate these May's virtues by just truly listening to elderly people and just letting them be themselves. I think it's okay to let elderly people feel scared and ask for help, and let them be the ones to decide kind of how their care is geared, so that we can promote May's virtues. And then in terms of the last bullet point, I think that nurses can help change the experience of residents in long-term care facilities by offering a lot of activities, and activities where the elderly people in the facility can learn new things. I think there's a sense of like feeling invigorated, learning new things no matter how old you are and no matter what that might be. I think it would be helpful to have like classes in living facilities that teach people how to use an iPhone and take a picture with a smartphone or an iPad or a laptop, or learn how to, check their bank account online. I think just any sort of class that can help them feel like they're still growing as opposed to on their way to death could kind of help make them not feel that way. And again, just kind of promoting everyone's autonomy and their independence, and trying to make maybe those facilities look a little bit less medical, and a little bit more homey. I think that can all help with that transition. Thanks.